Everyone's talking to me. No one's talking to each other.
Might as well go.
Someone isn't here. Button, who's got the button? My money's on the witch. Red's a bad go.
Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 129 of Revisiting Sunnydale. I'm Camila.
I'm Marcella.
We are happy to be here and happy to be working on this last season of Buffy. It's bittersweet.
Yeah, I can't believe it is bittersweet.
Like, it's been a long time of coming, but we're here and we're doing it. We're wrapping it up, and thank you all for hanging in there with us for so long. We know we did talk about that we will be moving on to Angel, but we still want to do that, but we're going to need your help. So we are on Patreon. If you would just go on to Patreon and Google Revisiting Sunnydale, you'll find out how you can help us, how you can help support that podcast and help get it going. Yeah, we're kind of short on time today, so we can't really get too deep into the nitty gritty, but we also will have information on the social medias as well on how you can help us out, because, you know, life has gotten a lot more complicated for both Marcella and I, and we just need a little more, you know, monetary, financial. I mean, I hate to put it that way to found it because it sounds crass.
Support. It's
right?
Just support.
We just need a little more push, a little more push to help do that. And so, if you don't know what our socials are, our Facebook page is Revisiting Sunnydale. We're on Twitter at Back to Sunnydale, and on Instagram at RVS_podcast. And and just continue to support also by following and rating and reviewing the show on platforms like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor.fm, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, and Player FM. So today we are going to talk about season 7, episode 3, Same Time, Same Place.
I love this episode.
I do. It's a very good one. I forgot to figure out which when
it originally aired. So did I.
So
I was like, screw that information. Who cares?
So yeah, it originated, some point way back when.
It's sometime in place, sometime someplace.
But we did remember to put in who wrote it. Written by Jane Ebsenson, directed by James A. Contner. Willow's return proves problematic when she is literally unable to see her friends and is left with a creature that paralyzes its victims.
On October 8th, 2002.
Thank you, Marcella, with the quick look up there. Our only guest star in this ep is Camden Toy as Gnarl.
But you've seen him before. He's also been a gentleman, and he will be on as an Uber vamp, which makes me giggle every time I say it now.
Uber vamp?
Uber vamp, because I just think about like Spike pulling up on his motorcycle.
Call for an Uber.
People. I'm an Uber vamp.
we got some waters in the back if you want it, and prepare for a Tic Tac or Weetabix. What is it?
Some blood, some smoke, some Weetabix. I love it.
Oh, God.
And now that's all you will all ever hear.
Exactly. Uber vamps. So we start. So this is one of those episodes where like they get creative with the editing. We're seeing it's two universes happening parallel to each other. And you'll see this a lot in television and in movies. They'll do something a little bit creative. It's something that's happening with the other like bit part characters, like the background actors. A background actor will stand out and do something, or there'll be something that happens, like somebody trips and falls, or, whatever. They'll make a big deal kind of out of this to let you know that this is the same place, same time. And what happens is we start off at the airport, and, there's people coming off of the plane, and there's a family. There's like a kid who drops something, and a dad picks it up behind him, and he's like, "Stop acting up." And it's like,
he didn't do shit. The kid didn't do shit.
He just dropped a bag or something. It's like, sir, how long was this flight? Like, maybe he was just really cranky pants. He had a middle seat and he was flying coach. He was not a happy flyer.
He's basically an extra that had 3 different takes, and that's the one they went with.
Right. So this happens first. And, first, if you're not knowing what's going on, it's like, that's a weird thing to point out, to spotlight. But okay. So we're here at the airport. Buffy, Xander, and Dawn are there to pick up Willow, and everyone is like all on edge. And as expected, Xander has been like a bore about saving the world with his mouth.
And he made this stupid sign that you can barely read, and he's worried about it being too pale. Is it too pale? Yes, bitch, it's too pale.
It's like, I get you had your little joke or whatever. This was supposed to be a thing, but you can't read it. At least maybe you could have gotten a darker colored poster board or outlined the words in black color.
Dawn has gone to the school of sarcasm over the summer.
Oh, yes, she is.
And she has Xander falling into her traps.
Like she's got Xander in her sights
right away.
Because she's like, oh, tell us again about the speech you made. And he goes into it, and then she's just like, no. He's like, oh, you're being funny. Okay. you don't want to hear it again. Like, no, Xander, we don't. So they're concerned that Willow might still be evil, which, yeah. And they make a mention that, right, and even more so because they make a mention of like, well, Giles said that he didn't think it was important for her to finish her actual course. Huh?
Right after Dawn had said, well, it's not like she left early or anything.
Right.
She finished being taught how to not be evil. And Buffy's like, well, actually.
What? She didn't finish learning how to not be evil?
And at the same time, Xander's like, hey, guys. They've closed the doors. There's no Willow.
Everyone is off this plane. She is not here. So take two. We go back to the beginning where a shot of the clock in the airport, and then the family, upset dad yelling at his kids unnecessarily, and Willow is right behind them. Which
for a split second, I guess I understand why the dad was being such a dick, because the kid dropped his bag and the sister just walked over it. The kid made no attempt to pick the bag up. He just kept walking. So I get why the dad was just like, seriously.
Yeah, we're just going to leave this here, huh? Oh, okay.
And the first time I watched this show, I seriously thought something was wrong with Comcast because I thought the episode restarted. Yes. And I was like, we just did this. What's going on? And then I was like, hey, wait, there's Willow. Wait, what's going on?
So, yes. And Willow's looking around for her friends, but she doesn't see them. And she sadly says, welcome home, me.
Get over it. You tried to kill them all. They may need a minute.
I mean,
have you been in contact all summer?
Thank you. That was one of my questions. Like, nobody wrote a letter, made a phone call, sent an email, nothing? Like, y'all just decided not to speak all summer at all.
And you expect them to pick you up at the airport?
Like, did you even talk to them about what your flight information was, and were you expecting them to come get you?
I guess they got it from Giles.
Which is ridiculous. Like, this is
you better call the Uber vamp. It's going to be a thing all season.
Oh, okay. So after credits, we come back and there's some rando dude in the alleyway doing his quote unquote street art. Because I do love me some good graffiti and street art, but this ain't it.
This isn't even tagging.
No, he's just like tracing.
Doodling.
He's tracing over somebody else's stuff.
And he's being taunted by the most horrifying,
some limerick spouting demon with long acrylics. Like,
and at first I'd have been like, okay, pedophile, leave me alone. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, you need to get out of here.
I don't like this sing-songy rhyming bullshit you're doing, and I'm not a fan of long nails, bedazzled nails. And he gets him, and off into the darkness, whatever. Willow gets home.
He has no fight or flight. You and I both would have been like, what? Nope.
No, exactly.
Drop the can, and it'd have been like
immediately beeline to the nearest lighted area, whatever is happening. Just keep walking until I got my ass home.
Like Cordy, she ran 3 counties before she realized nobody was following her.
It's like, I'm not doing this today. Nope, no sir. So Willow gets to the house and it's dark and empty, and she's like tooling through, and nobody's there. But oddly enough, in this whole scenario, in this whole problematic parallel universe thing, like some things are still heard. So she hears like the door slam shut, and but she doesn't see them come home. So she goes and lays down on the couch, and then we come to find out that it was Xander, Buffy, and the baby Dawn coming home, and they're like, we should call Giles. Da 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 da. And then they hear like a creak on the steps, and they're like, "What's that?" And they're like, "Willow, is that you?" And so it's a whole thing. But there's no sign of Willow. And did Willow have any bags when she came into the house?
I think she did.
Okay,
but I think she had like a carry-on.
You've been gone all summer, and how did you manage? I mean, I guess it was a very quick getaway situation. I just can't imagine going to England with one carry-on bag with a backpack.
Right. Well, she's a witch. Maybe she's like an ever-expanding bag.
I guess I can't even go to fucking Ohio for a weekend without having 3 separate suitcases.
It really creeps me out the way that they shoot this. I don't understand how this spell works in general, because they're sitting on her,
right? Yeah, they
on
get
the couch.
And so Giles had confirmed that he put Willow on the plane, and now he's all flustered and whatnot. And
did I do the right thing? Is she out there? What happened?
Right. And so they're all sitting around blaming themselves, like Giles is like, "Oh, I know, I should have known she wasn't ready." And they're all like, we should have done whatever. I don't know. But Dawn makes a great point of like, will anyone around here start asking for help when they need it?
Mm-hmm.
And she also makes
of you?
Right. And she also makes another point of like, we're all blaming ourselves, but who's going to start blaming Willow? At what point? So, and the congregation says amen. Dawn has done some growing up this summer.
Yep, she really has.
Dawn is where it's at. I might after this like 57th viewing of this series, season 7 is when I turn to Team Dawn. I don't know. This is...
I think so. Because she really has grown up, and I think Michelle Trachtenberg grew up a lot and started standing up for some things she wanted for the character. So
high heels wasn't one of those.
High heels. Yep. She wanted to wear heels.
And speaking of outfits, I do like Buffy's outfit in this, the long shirt with like the sheer at the bottom going over her jeans.
Yeah, it's very cute.
I always wished I could.
Cute.
Yeah, I always wished I could pull that thing off, but I don't think I never could.
That's an outfit that looks cute on the rack, and then you get in the dressing room and you're like, I hate everything.
Right. This does not go well for me.
Unless you look like Sarah Michelle Gellar,
right,
who pretty much looks like a rack.
So the next morning, Willow gets up, alone, still alone in the house, and she calls Giles, who is conveniently unreachable at a retreat, even though he has just been informed that Willow, the murderous witch who he was trying to train all summer into not being a murderous witch, and who did not finish her course on not being a murderous witch, did not arrive.
Non-refundable.
Right. Did not arrive at the destination in which she was supposed to be. He's like, "Oh, I guess they got it. It's okay. I'm going to go on my Watcher's retreat anyway."
I'm going. I already packed. I bought the add-ons. I'm going.
Do you know how difficult it was for me to finagle getting Danishes for breakfast every day of this retreat? I am not giving that up.
You had to have those reservations 6 months in advance. No, she'll be fine. And if not, I won't know anyway.
I scheduled this well before she went dark. She's not my responsibility. So
the spotlight of this episode is
Anya.
Every single interaction from this point on between Anya and Willow.
Everything that comes out of Anya's mouth. I don't even have a specific burn of the week. I'm just giving all of Anya's lines. I'm just giving it all to Anya. Like,
I picked like 4. I couldn't even.
Right. You can't narrow it down because everything she says, like Willow shows up at the magic box and Anya's like, "Oh, bullshit." She's like cleaning up the debris of her poor burnt down, beat up, like magicked up store. And she's, she's not here for the niceties at all, basically.
No. This is like Anya on 10.
Yeah. And it's
any couth she had learned being with Xander is gone.
And I love the fact too that she's not even like yelling any of this stuff either. She's not per se like angry and like frothing at the mouth. She's just plainly stating this shit to her. Like, oh,
She just spitting truths. You feel responsible. You are
right.
responsible.
Like, bitch, you are specifically responsible.
And I love how she's like, Vengeance Demons, we don't groove with the sorry. We
Right.
prefer the, oh my God, stop hitting me with my own bones.
So, so Willow starts asking her questions, and still Willow comes to her with, oh, I feel really responsible, like this whole fake apology. I don't think she's really sorry about anything, because she's like, really, I understand she's preoccupied about where the others are, but still, like, Anya's trying to talk to her, and she's like, yeah, that's cool. Where's Xander and them? Like, come on now. Like,
where's the people I really care about?
Right. You're still being, like, kind of snotty towards her. So Anya gives
Anya's trying to be so sweet. Like, I got my own apartment, and I'm doing this. I'm doing great. Well, fuck me, I guess.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So she tells her that, everybody's all about the new school, and Dawn's probably there. And Buffy got a job there working with delinquents, and Xander is probably there on the construction site, got there early, working on the new gymnasium. So Willow decides to go there to go find him, and instead...
She did tell him that Spike was crazy in the basement.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Yeah, everybody's hanging out at the new high school.
Except for Anya. So Willow goes to the school, and she doesn't find Xander, but she does find Spike. And it's wonderful. Except there's another cross scene when she's down looking at like where that tagger was, and she's looking at the scene, and Xander and Buffy are there, and they're looking at the scene, but again, not same place, same time.
Right. And they hear her
together
climbing down the ladder too, but they don't see each other. So she goes and finds Spike. And
I love this scene. Allison has grown up a lot this season. Like, she looks like a damn woman.
Right? It's like, hello, everybody.
Like, I guess they all kind of look adults now. Watching this for like the 5th time, they do kind of look grown up.
Yeah. Yeah, they're all very much. It's just Sarah Michelle just looks tired of it all, really. So this is like the best scene. Well, aside from anytime Anya's speaking in this episode, is when Willow goes and finds Spike, and James does a terrific job because again we're at the same time, same place. So basically, the same time Willow finds Spike, Xander and Buffy find him too.
Except the first time I saw it, I thought he was talking to the first.
Yeah.
And then they flipped it around, and it was like, oh no, I get it. Like the first mention he makes of somebody else being in the room, I'm like, wow, he's just talking to the first again.
Right. But then I love what he's like, the Slayer and her boy. They think you did it. The Slayer and her boy.
Yes. Xander's so offended. Her boy.
Yeah.
And then Willow's super offended when she's asking, like, well, who would do something like that? Remove skin from a demon.
Right.
I heard you did it.
Right. It's just like, well, it's like, yeah.
I mean,
besides me.
And that's one thing that really bothers me about this episode is she did that once.
It's not her trademark. Like
it's not a trademark. It's not like she went and tried to flay Andrew and Jonathan.
Right.
She wanted to beat them to death.
There was a specific thing that was for Warren specifically. Yes. What really kind of, this is where the plot really moves, is when Spike realizes, he's like, hey, everybody's talking to me, but not to each other.
And I mean, he's already crazy. People, stop.
Right.
Stop messing with this poor baby's mind.
I know it. So, Willow is this is the first, encounter of crazy Spike that Willow is getting, but, Buffy and Xander, they're all like, Xander's all, being Xander about it. And Buffy's like, it's gotta, let's be kind. It's okay, blah, blah, blah. And Spike says some stuff about glowing. And what's that word mean? Glowing. It's got a rhyme. And he's still embarrassed about what happened in the church, with Buffy, and he's like, I should hide my face, and she's like, it's cool, it's fine, we're okay. And then so finally, when he's like, everyone's not talking to each other, and he's like, button, who's got the button? Which I love that.
And we get to hear it twice.
Right. My money's on the witch. Red's been a very bad girl.
and that's Buffy's like, he's talking about Willow.
Yeah. Hello.
On the nose.
Got it.
Cupid doll for the Slayer. Where did he get this blue shirt? He had it on last week too, right? When
yeah.
So he went back to the church and picked up his shirt?
I guess so, because I assumed that he had just kind of ripped it off and discarded it. But I guess he went back, or he picked up several wherever he got it from originally.
Where does he get his things?
Xander has a throwaway line when they're down in the basement about that they can't use the blueprints to find their way down there because it's like the walls move. So that's probably going to be something important for later on this season.
And Buffy does she's trying to reason with him. She's trying to be nice. I don't know why she's being so nice to him.
Well, he has a soul now. I wonder, does she tell Xander that?
Probably not. Because he just has so many little quips about Crazy Spike. This whole episode, he's talking about Crazy Spike, crazy old Spike.
He's just writing him off as crazy. So Willow, again, and I guess just because there's nobody else there, she doesn't know anyone else in town, and she couldn't possibly do this by herself, Willow goes to Anya for help with a demon locator spell.
Mm-hmm. Which Anya will agree to do as long as it doesn't get sexy.
Right, and it doesn't ruin her carpet.
And it doesn't ruin her carpet. Those are her two stipulations.
And one of the burns I did pull out was when Willow barges into her apartment. She's like, come in, enjoy my personal space.
Everything is so good. It's so good. And even then, when she says to her, this isn't going to get all sexy, is it? And Willow's like, I'd be shocked.
So they do their little locator spell, and there's like clumps of light on a map, and there's a big old congested area of it, and that's the Hellmouth, or the high school. But they do find a demon light, which I guess is new. I don't know why this one picked out to be of importance. But, they discover that, this demon is in the caves over by blah, blah, blah. And then, like, the congested light of demons catches fire.
Yeah.
and ruins Anya's
But even
carpet.
more concerning to me is you might want to find out so we know that the center at the school is the Hellmouth. There's also a little bit of trivia that it's supposed to signify the first army of the Uber Vamps under the school.
Right.
But there were also a lot of singular dots.
Right.
At like every other house in Sunnydale. Y'all are demon deep.
Right. Exactly. It's not just a random situation here. So this
isn't an invasion, it's an occupation.
So for one, yes, I'm wondering, like, why did the one in the cave stand out as so special when there's a lot of activity? There's a lot of demon activity.
They weren't different colors or anything.
No. I don't get it. I don't understand. So,
the damn map catches on fire and burns up Anya's carpet.
And she's like, remember our conversation about the carpet? And they have a moment where they do kind of, they connect on, being murderous, I guess. Because, Anya's upset, starting to have feelings about her vengeancing. And Willow identifies with what she's saying about how you're afraid that you're not going to be able to pull yourself back out of it. And Anya's like, oh yeah, that got a little sexy.
Super dramatic.
That's an extremely dramatic way of overstating it, but yes.
Because Anya's been grounded. She got in trouble for reversing the vengeance spell on the worm dude from last week. So her teleportation powers have been stripped. She can only do them for business.
And she has to file out a claim and everything.
Flight plan.
Teleporting is a privilege, not a right. So Anya's no longer really having any fun with the vengeance demoning, and they kind of have a moment, but then the moment
got sexy anyway.
Right. It was like there's a funny exchange of looks, and like when like Anya's got it did kind of get sexy, and Willow's just like, oh no, what?
Very cute.
Because Willow is being really aggressive and trying to get her to go pop on over to the cave and find out what it is. But anyway, so, the other folks, they are doing research, and Buffy is certain that it's Willow is the one who skinned this kid.
Like, certain.
Like, she's like, I don't want anyone to have to say it, but we have to say it. Like, I know Willow did it. And it's like, well just that not cool.
Dawn's like, let me check my demons database.
And she finds a Gnarl, or just Gnarl, not the Gnarl. Xander's lost.
As always.
But, there's all these pinpoints that, Dawn marks it, and that, yes, this is what we're looking for. We're looking for Gnarl, this demon who is a parasite and paralyzes its victims with the venom in his acrylic nails. And also the fact that he drinks the blood, so it's probably going to be a trail of microscopic blood. So they're like, how can we find it? Smell of blood. Let's use Spike. And so that, this gang is all about using people.
This is rude. He's not a dog.
It's like, Willow, let me go use Anya. And then they use Anya later. And then they're like, let's use Spike to go do this. And so Spike leads the way.
And Dawn is so adorable. I would have found this annoying in season 4.
Right.
Or in season 5. But she's like, it's smellementary.
And she's so
and
happy.
I tiny bit want to punch her in the face,
right?
And hug her.
But not as much as I would have last season.
Mm-hmm.
She's very proud of herself for being able to have found all of this stuff, and she's like, yeah, and we can do all sorts of stuff without magic, and there's database and da 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 da, and I can get to wear heels more often.
And it's important to note out that they actually took her with them. This is the first time she's actually she is on a Scooby hunt.
Yeah.
She is hunting a demon.
And turns out to be a mistake. So they use Spike to follow the scent of blood. They get to Gnarl's cave, and Spike is like, deuces, this is where I leave you bitches.
And Xander's like, you've led us nowhere. And he's like, there's a cave in there.
They're like, it's a pile of rocks. Like, no. Use your investigative skills and move the branch and see that there is a cave in this pile of rocks. And he's like, I'm insane. What's his excuse?
And Gnarl is singing.
Ugh. So Willow arrives there basically the same time, and Gnarl's doing his taunting with the rhyme.
And Xander's so upset. He's like, dark and dank. I was hoping it would be
dark and dank. And Dawn gets gnarled immediately and paralyzed. Yep. So they have to leave. Again, they do not know Willow is in there. And they're like, well, what happens? What if he gets out? And they're like, seal him in. And so they seal poor Willow in unknowingly with Gnarl as well.
And she can see them and she, no, please. Nope, too late. You're sealed in there.
And Gnarl starts to eat Willow. Well, they get poor Dawn home, and she's like all paralyzed and stuff. And there's a whole comedy thing with her paralyzation. Well, they're going to go back for Gnarl, but they don't want to leave Dawn by herself.
Figure?
Yes, they don't want to leave Dawn by herself. She might puke or, whatever. Like, she's paralyzed. She's helpless. So they call Anya to babysit. And Anya gets there, and Anya's got some information about Gnarl. And also, surprise, she saw Willow. She has some information about Willow and Gnarl. And they're like, hey, you're coming with us. So they find out that Dawn isn't really in any danger. She's posable paralyzed. And they sit her up so she doesn't vomit and choke on her own vomit. And leave her there.
While Gnarl is eating strips of Willow's stomach. And it's the most disgusting, horrifying thing, I think.
They linger way too long on it. As he's like hovered over poor paralyzed Willow and just stripping skin pieces off of her stomach. And it
must take a really long time. Like, dude, just kill me. Like, seriously, just kill me. I'm holding my breath until I die. Because I can't live through this any longer. I'm just going to hit my head off the floor. Oh, wait, I'm paralyzed. I literally can't do anything.
Right. This is a very upsetting situation. It just goes on for so long. And with the sing-songing, too, it's like, I don't know what's worse. Like, this taunting or this gross just, oh, God. It's so awful. And then, ugh.
Would you choke on your own spit?
I don't know.
If you were paralyzed and your mouth like filled up with your, because you'd still be salivating,
Right.
right?
Yeah. So if you're paralyzed, I would imagine you can't swallow.
Right. So would you eventually just like choke on your own? Ugh.
Maybe. Oh, what a
This
terrible.
guy's a dick. The way you kill people, sir, is dickery. You deserve what's about to happen to you.
Right. It's bad enough to just be murderous, but come on, do you have to be such an asshole about it?
Right?
Like what? So
Jeez.
the other folks get there, and Anya's like, Willow is here, and she's hurt, and you're standing in her, Xander.
He's so useless. Like, could you help or something?
Yeah.
You brought a weapon for what?
Right, to stand there and just like look pretty with it. Then Gnarl shows up and Buffy starts to fight him. And and Anya's still trying to like, she's comforting Willow while they're there because nobody can see each other, but Anya's the go-between at this point. She's trying to be nice. She's being really actually sweet to Willow, and
She is being very sweet.
telling her what's happening and that, I'm here for you. It's, it's very sweet.
It is very sweet. And just explaining that they didn't leave you, they just can't see you.
Right.
And I don't think they ever really explain why Anya can?
Well, because Anya wasn't included in Willow's wish and Willow not being able to face him, I guess,
She doesn't care if Anya sees her.
Basically, yes. As we've pointed out, Anya isn't really that important to the rest of the gang. And Spike either, for that matter, because he wasn't included in that either. But I guess he wasn't there to witness Dark Willow.
True.
But so the only
what is important?
What?
Handy wipes.
Yeah, so the only way to kill Gnarl is by is getting him in his eyeballs. And
I don't know why. Who made that up?
And to just make this creature that much more disgusting and gross and just his whole existence being just bleh. Buffy she shoves her thumbs into his eyeballs.
She's done it before. With their Kinderstad.
Yeah,
she should be used to it. But that is going to be a special bond, spoiler alert, that her and Xander can share. Ew. Hey, I know what it feels like. I know what that felt like when you the moment when it said bye-bye.
Yikes.
But she's just walking around. Like, I don't really see her wipe her hands on her jeans or throw up in her mouth a little because she got eye goop on her thumb. Like, just the thought of it just...
Dude, if I get peanut butter under my nails, I'm feeling it for all day. You have demon eyeball all up in your nail beds. Like, what?
Right? And what has happened at the Summers house? Why do they keep playing musical bedrooms? Because Willow is recuperating in Buffy's room.
Oh, when she left up that, I was like, "Fuck this! This is
I'm
my
taking
house."
My mom's room.
Right? That was my mama's room. First and foremost. Second, I didn't try to end the world. So third, I also didn't ask to come back. Right? It's like so they just immediately just like, nope, not having this. I deserve the big room. Thank you very much. So Buffy kills Gnarl. And then, but they're like, hey, the paralyzation wears off and everything. And Willow starts to have like this little meltdown a little bit and eventually breaks her own spell because she's like, okay, now I am ready to see these people, I guess. And so.
Was it in the book that when the demon dies, the paralyzation wears off? Because nobody told Baby Dawn.
Yeah.
Buffy she fell to the floor.
Buffy said that when they got home. And she was like, the paralyzation is permanent. Oh. Unless the demon is killed. So that was covered, but nobody, they shouldn't have, that was Anya. Anya left her like that. Anya knew. Anya knew. So, Willow's recuperating in Buffy's old room. She's sitting, meditating. Buffy comes and interrupts. She's like, not necessarily just meditating. I'm growing my own skin. Magic, the Earth's connected, da-da-da-da-da.
Excuse me? Let's cycle back. You're doing what now?
See, I thought the whole thing was you weren't supposed to be doing magics, but okay.
Right? That seems pretty powerful.
But also, here's the other thing. And she's like, the whole spell of you not being able to see anybody. How did that happen? She's like, I don't know. Nope, not good enough. You got to go back.
Class.
You got to go back.
Right now. Zoom. You got to take some Zoom classes, some Teams, AOL. I don't care.
It's like, I didn't mean to. No. That's not okay.
Just like when she pulled that flower out from halfway across the world. No.
Right.
Back to class. Or how about that coven siphons your magic away from you until you're ready?
Exactly. I cannot have this under this house. Like, until you master your own powers. Like, this is not okay. Like, this... I don't.
But she doesn't have enough to completely heal herself right now. And Buffy offers up a little bit of her strength. She's like, here, take some of my strength. Excuse me?
Is that smart?
So she can leech off of people now?
Right. So we just got finished talking about how she accidentally made a spell so nobody could see anybody. She still doesn't know how she did that. And now you're going to allow her to leech some of your powers?
Okay.
There's poor choices everywhere around.
When you look like a mummy. Because she sucked all your power.
Yep.
Sarah has like the best posture. I'm so jealous every time I look at her. I'm like, I hate your tiny little frame. You have the best posture. You got no boobs holding you down. And that's it for same time, same place.
Yep. So we end the episode basically with, everybody, I don't know, overly trusting each other. Is that what this basically is?
Yeah, overly trusting each other.
We kind of talked about what our favorite burns were throughout.
And we only had 2 bodies dropped. One really stupid tagger got his skin extracted by Gnarl, and Gnarl got his eyes extracted by Buffy and her thumbs.
Gross. It does pass the Bechdel test.
It does. We had lots of random trivia this time. On that map of Sunnydale during the Demon Locator spell, one of the labeled places is called Wilkins Grove. From there, Wilkins.
That's right. Well, yeah, his family was there for generations upon generations.
Yep. This is the only instance in the series not to feature any guest stars billed at the beginning of the episode.
Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't even notice. The demons that Dawn uses will show up on Angel. It is used several times as a comedic joke with Cordelia. And we talked about the Turcon showing up during the Demon Locator spell. Just my quick moral of the story is if you're feeling unseen by those around you, make yourself seen and heard, even if only by one person.
I like it.
Thank you.
Like it. All right, so you can share your thoughts of same place, same time with us. And by recording a MP3 file, less than 2 minutes, and emailing it to revisitingsunnydale@gmail.com. You can also just, tell us about it in an email. Just send us an email or talk to us on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook. Next week's episode is...
Help.
I don't remember what that one is. What that one's about.
I just remember Buffy starts her day. It's the one with the girl that thinks she's going to die. Buffy starts her guidance counseling job.
Gotcha.
That's how much we don't like this season, folks. We can barely remember these.
Yeah, it's difficult to put them all together. Revisiting Sunnydale is produced by Rugged Angel Productions and hosted by Camila and Marcella. Please follow the podcast on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And if you are in the giving mood, please consider being a patron by going to patreon.com/revisitingsunnydale.